Hello everyone, my name is Myeonji and I'm the creator of Reita on Webtoon. I thought it would be more fun to create a character I could use while filming these non-vlog videos. There's not really a significance to the design of the character. I think I was just drawing one day and I thought, hey, this would be a really cool character to use for my YouTube. Let me talk a little bit about my webtoon. So I started making this webtoon in 2020 and it was part of a senior project. My webtoon is called Reita and it is a supernatural BL romance story with demons, possession, and magic all centered around two humans named Sho and Soma. I'm currently on hiatus, but I should be coming out with new chapters in the spring of next year. So if any of that sounded interesting to you or you want to support me in my art, you can check out Reita on Webtoon Canvas. Now let's get started with the video. There are a lot of drawing programs out there. I know a lot of people tend to use programs like Procreate, but in my personal opinion, I tend to lean towards Clip Studio Paint, mainly because Clip Studio Paint has a lot of functions geared towards comic creation. Some of the functions I use are the Webtoon preset when opening a new canvas, which already has Webtoon size canvases that will fit with Webtoon's upload requirements. I also use the asset store to buy backgrounds, brushes, and special effects. And finally, the Webtoon screen view, which allows you to see what readers will be able to see while reading from their phones when the episode is published. I will admit I spend a bit more because I have both the subscription of Clip Studio Paint on my iPad to be able to draw on the go and for ease of access, and I have the one-time purchase on my computer for more detailed artwork. I think this is because for me, I tend to have more range of motion with my arm when drawing using my drawing monitor. My monitor allows more shortcuts, and to me, the pen has better sensitivity and accuracy compared to when I'm using my iPad. Of course, making a webtoon can definitely be done on just the iPad or just on a drawing monitor. This is just personal preference. It's because of this that I find myself using my monitor for promo and cover art for my webtoon and my iPad for the webtoon itself. The only problem I've run into with working like that is that I don't always transfer my brushes from one device to another. Doing speed draws is a bit easier on my iPad. Clip Studio Paint has a time-lapse option, but it needs to be manually turned on, unlike Procreate's automatic one. Usually I just screen record on my devices and crop around my canvas. Either way, you can definitely create high quality webtoons whether you choose to work from a drawing tablet like an iPad or phone or a large drawing monitor like mine. Which leads me to my next subject, which is my current drawing monitor and tablet. I've been drawing since I was in 2nd grade, but didn't start on the anime stuff until middle school. My mom was very supportive of my art and had gotten me my first drawing tablet when I was in junior high, which was a small Wacom Intuos Pro, which was a non-display tablet. Then I moved to the XP Pen brand. My first XP Pen tablet was the Artist 13.3 Pro, and I still have it with me. It's just not in very good shape. Then I bought my first big purchase for drawing tablets and got the XP Pen Artist 22R Pro right after high school. Finally, we come to what I currently have, which is the XP Pen Artist 24 Pro and my handy dandy 12.9-inch 4th gen iPad Pro. XP Pen is the brand I've always went with, and I like the designs of the tablets and monitors themselves. They even have a cute pink colored tablet, which would be absolutely adorable to have in a cozy drawing space. This is not sponsored, by the way. My XP Pen is currently hooked up to my pink 24-inch iMac computer. I will say that in all the years that I've used XP Pen, I've never run into any trouble, and all the devices have been fairly easy to set up. I haven't exactly experimented, but I think that deserves a little mention. The next topic is one that I'm most excited to talk about, and that is brushes that I use in Clip Studio Paint. I've collected a lot of brushes from the asset store since starting my webtoon in 2020, but I have a few favorites and tend to use them most when making art. I think hunting for brushes on the asset store is always fun, but I wanted to include this if you're ever curious about the kinds of brushes I use when seeing my art. My first brush is one that I absolutely fell in love with and is my most recent addition. In Korean it is Hongjang or Hongchan. Its content ID is 1771071. The brush has a nice flowy feel to it and allows really good pressure control to get those thin to thick lines easily. I tested it out with my Megami Fushiguro art and I really enjoyed it. My second favorite is the one that I mainly use when inking my webtoon. It's called Crispy Pen and its content ID is 1794545. Just like its name, it makes extremely crisp, clean lines and is good for line art and coloring. I prefer this one because the pen strokes allow for really beautiful hair strokes on eyelashes, eyebrows, and hair strands, while also providing finer detail for the facial features. If any brush has a manga feel to it, it would be this one. At the time of filming, it is also free to download. The next pen is one that I ended up using in a recent Sailor Moon drawing. I really like the texture it made when filling in the shadows. I was able to use it for line art as well as for sketching. This pen in Korean is called Tarut pen and its content ID is 1868016. I really liked the softness this pen provided while also being able to capture excellent detail in facial features and in the hair. Some other honorable mentions of pens that I've enjoyed are My next topic is apps I tend to use when working on my webtoon. I am in no way sponsored and just think these are good apps to use when organizing thoughts and planning out a webtoon. The first app I've used often is called Notability. So this app works as a digital notebook and I've tried everything from planners to calendars and note-taking. The cool thing about this app is that the pages are completely customizable. You can import your own planner pages or use lined or dotted paper, and they also have a few templates, some of which are storyboards perfect for planning out panels. Another app that I've used is called Story Plotter. This is also a good app to organize ideas. The cool thing about this app is that you can make folders for multiple stories. Inside the folders, you can input information on your webtoon such as the opening of the story, character intro, story progress, resolution, and an ending. In a different tab, you can make an events timeline to help you stay consistent with the storyline. There's also a tab for characters where you can input all your characters into and put their information in each of their folders. If needed, you can also make a character relationship diagram. The app overall is wonderful to use for ease of access to your webtoon info. My only issue is transferring it to another device should something happen. It would suck to fill the entire thing out again. Lastly, another app I've used frequently is Dropbox. This is for when I'm working on an episode of my webtoon and I want feedback from my editor. I tend to send her the storyboard and sometimes she'll suggest changes in the script. I also tried to send her the finished episode for her to review. This is a good way to send files to someone while maintaining the quality of your work. In order to avoid burnout, I try to find inspiration from other artists. This is most likely very obvious to many people, but what better way to get inspired to make your own webtoon than reading other webtoons you enjoy? I will admit I tend to read Korean comics more on sites like Lezen, Tappytoons, Coolmic, and Boomtoon. Seeing that I'm working on a BL comic, I mostly read BL manga and manhwa as well. My
absolute favorite would probably be Dear Door by Pluto. You can imagine my excitement when it was released in English on Tappytoon. My second all-time favorite would have to be Low Tide and Twilight by Uja, and then Legs That Won't Walk by Black Apricot, all found on Lezen. Please don't judge my BL taste. For artists in general, I do feel really inspired by Aki Akane and her use of color and composition. Her art is definitely a level I want to reach someday. I also really enjoy Eku Ekura for her adorable art style and illustrations. Another artist whose work I enjoy is Kyumeng. Their art has really pleasing visuals and all of their character designs are so unique and fun. Looking through webcomics, art books, and manga is always a fun way to get references and become inspired. I think that's all I have for now, so thank you for listening to all that rambling and sticking with me to the end of the video. I hope this video provided some helpful insight for working on your own comic. I'm not exactly a professional, but starting out, I liked hearing what other webtoon artists were using and I thought I'd do the same. I hope to see you again in a future video. Until then, bye!